But that's a lot of things that we can be distracted by. And an unpopular topic, we can be distracted about being so independent. And I know
Mhm.
that's a touchy subject, but we can be so independent that we're not wives anymore. We're just women
Mhm.
Ooh,
with
that's good.
rings. We're
Yeah.
women with rings at that point because we want to show him, look, like, I was doing good. I can do all this by myself, but we didn't do it by ourselves. I gotta do all this. That might be good at 20. It might be good at 30. But shoot, 40, 50, 60, look, that gets old.
Yeah.
So just coming together, keeping God in it, communicating with each other, and saying, look, we're going to come together before God. We mad, but get on over here on my side. I can't sleep without you over here holding me. Come on over here. We mad, but we're going to go on to sleep. And we wake
Yeah.
up. We wake up. It's a new day. It's another opportunity for us to make a better decision. And we ain't going nowhere. We're good.
This is the Family Dynamics Podcast with Kevin and Alicia Meeks.
Welcome to another episode of the Family Dynamics Podcast. I am your host, Kevin Meeks, and once again, I am sitting next to my beautiful wife, Alicia Meeks.
Hey y'all.
Listen, today we have a very special guest, and she is near and dear to my heart because she is a family member to me. Um, I just have to introduce to you guys the Romance Queen.
Hey
Hey,
girl.
Hi.
So introduce yourself to our audience. Tell us who you are, your name, and a little bit about yourself.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for having me on today. My name is Sonya Harris, also known as the Romance Queen Sonya. I coach married women into investing in the beauty of their marriage and teaching them how to enjoy the journey. I have been married for 29 years. I have 2 children and 3 grandchildren. And I absolutely love marriage and everything that comes along with it. And I just want to encourage women to come along and enjoy the journey with me.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. I love it. Before we get started, we're going to do a quick icebreaker,
Okay.
and it's called This or That. So I'm going to ask you this or that and tell us which one. Just say which one you prefer. So, dog or cat?
Dog.
Instagram or TikTok?
Ooh, TikTok.
Salty or sweet?
Sweet.
Text or phone call?
Text.
Morning person, night owl?
Night owl.
Tea or coffee?
Ooh, coffee.
Coffee.
Read a book, watch a movie?
Read a book.
Wine or beer?
Neither.
Neither?
Neither.
It could be neither.
Neither.
Okay, reality TV or true crime?
Neither.
Really?
Neither.
I like both of them. Cook dinner or do the dishes?
Cook dinner.
And my favorite one, the last one, road trip or airplane?
Airplane.
Yes, honey, yes. Yes, indeed. I cannot. Oh my goodness. We just came off of a road trip and it was just
Airplane all day.
I cannot. Oh.
Tell us why Romance Queen. What how did you come up with that name, the Romance Queen?
Well, actually, I've always been kind of obsessed with the whole thing with marriage, that and even relationship, that can't eat, can't sleep, kind of mushy kind of relationship. That is me 100%. So I've always been into that. And once I got married, I was so excited about it. And everyone would be like, oh Lord, here she comes. Here she comes. Miss Bubbly, Miss All About It. But what I noticed, they would always kind of pull me off to the back, those same people, and secretly ask me questions about marriage or questions about our relationship. And it was just like, girl, you're almost a romance queen. I
Yes.
tried that, it worked. And so the name just kind of stuck with it. And a lot of people didn't really understand, like, why romance? And my thought is, love is not enough. You can love someone, but that does not mean that it's enough for long lasting.
Yeah.
I loved my high school sweetheart, but that just no. And we can get into that a little bit later. But love is how you feel. Romance is what you do about how you feel. It's the action behind it. I learned how to romance my relationship, and then romance my marriage, and then romance my family, and then romance my household, romance my kids. So it just became a way of life. So I always use that scenario. So it just kind of stuck.
I like it. So what would you say is one of the most romantic things you've done in the 29?
29.
Whoa!
Well,
we ain't doing nothing with this 8.5, baby. Out of the 29 years of marriage.
I would say the most fun, and just to give you a gist of my personality and how me and my hubby vibes, out of all the gifts, the anniversaries, the birthdays, the Father's Day, he remembers one significantly. So it was his, I think it was his birthday. Yeah, I think it was his birthday. So he is obsessed with Nia Long. That's his celebrity. That's his celebrity girlfriend. He loves him some Nia Long. That's his girl. So for him, I got a picture of her out of a magazine. I took it to the bakery and I said, can you get her picture put on this cake? And they look kind of funny. I said, wow. I need her picture exactly. And she had on something all slinky and cute. She was real cute, real sexy. So I had them put her picture on the cake. And then it says, I love you so much that I'm going to let you get a piece.
Hey!
I like that.
So for one day, he got to get a piece of his girlfriend, and I did not mind. I let him enjoy it all by himself. He was so blown away. It was so fun. It was so funny. Everybody enjoyed it, but it was just the small things, because sometimes a lot of wives like to get caught up in the big things. I'm like, of all the gifts I done got, you in this cake. You and your woman here on this cake, but he loved that.
But let's unpack that real quick. I know, I want to know, because this takes a different perspective of a wife. What was in you that disconnected from, because the stigma of society, like for your husband to adorn or to like another woman, she's a celebrity. Everybody has somebody that they kind of like, thumbs up. I like her. Like, what made you? I want to get into the mind of that, like, because a lot of women be like, "Oh no, you can't like nothing but me." So I want to know what made you do that.
I get that a lot, and this is where I make all my wives cringe a little bit. They all kind of get a little nervous and uncomfortable, but I know my husband's type. I know I can look at a woman and tell he likes that. That right there, that does it for him. And I'm comfortable with that because I'm comfortable in my spot. I know my place.
Gotcha.
I am number one.
Hey.
I am the queen. And I don't feel that the queen should come down off her throne and go down there with the peasants and talk and try to compete against her spot that she's in. So I concentrate on my spot. And if he want to look good, and if she's looking at him even better, like, I know. I know. So it's that still staying smitten with him, but understanding that he's going to see something else that turns his head, and that's okay. That's okay, because I'm confident enough in my spot to not only be secure in it, but to understand that he has a type, and not all the time is the wife his type. I could be a wild card. I could be the one. In either way, I'm comfortable. If I'm his type, good. Like, yeah, I know I'm
Right.
his type. But there's also women just like me that's his type. If I'm his wild card, I'm happy with that too. He dated all these type of women. Like, man, I got it going on. I have
Yes.
you all out of your element. You all over here in this lane, and this ain't even your lane. I got you out of your lane to come get me.
Yeah.
It's just the confidence of it, being confident in who I am and my spot, and then allowing him to have fun in his spot. He's
Yeah.
still a man. He still got eyes. He still look and see something he likes, and I'll be, you like that, Dodge? I know, because we can play that way. I'm confident, and he's confident that I'm confident.
It's funny you say that, and I know my wife got a framework, but I got to touch on this part real quick because I know a lot of people, especially in relationships, it gets a little eerie to think that your spouse has an attraction to someone else. Which, okay, so there have been times where I know my wife energy, and we've been in malls or we've been in situations where I kind of backed off. I didn't for lack of words, like kind of slut my wife out, but I understood that young man really liked the way my wife looked. And we was in the mall one day, and it was something, discounts or something like that I knew she would get. So I kind of backed off because I know he was really digging my wife. Like he was not being disrespectful, but I can tell his energy is like, I like her. I married her. So I'm not at all like kind of like feeling threatened in any way. So I backed off.
Yeah.
She ended up getting what she usually gets. She usually, because my wife her energy is very electric. It's not that you're invited energy, is that I'm welcoming to positivity. And I know a lot of guys like that. So when I noticed it, I kind of backed off. I didn't feel threatened in any type of way. I know other guys would be like, oh, I wouldn't do that. Yeah, but I married her, so somebody like her. Somebody else will like her too. So I that's why I kind of wanted you to go in a little bit more on that.
Yes, I love that. I love it.
That is funny because what made me know that he does that is because on the way walking into church, he would be so far back. And I'm like, are we coming in here together? Like, he'll be so far back. This was so long ago. He would be so far back. And I'm like, why is he so far back? But he's watching the other men's reaction to me.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Like, why? Why are you doing that? Like, I be seeing the way they be looking at you when you walk in church or whatever. And I'm like, why are you doing that?
I love it. I love it.
Why are you doing that? So it's a lot of times I catch him doing that in different settings. Like, I don't know why he does that, but so that's sweet. That was so sweet, that piece of cake, baby. You can have a piece. Because, honey, that was just so creative. I love it. I love it. I'm creative, and so I love to see other people thinking out of the box. Because, baby, that was out of the box. I love it.
Thank you.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So, you've been married for 29 years. Oh my gosh. And I personally met you and your husband in person, and I can tell y'all in the audience, they are still lovey-dovey. They are still just they so cute. And I can only wish that Kevin and I remain this way throughout all the way to 29 years. Like, it was something to see and very, very inspiring. That's something that we aspire to be, is still happy and in love and in like with each other. Because you can love somebody, but do you like them? We don't like them all the time.
True.
And so, and that was something, because that's another situation that we can dive into. So recently, Michelle Obama said that she did not like Barack for 10 years.
Mm.
She did not like her husband for
Mm.
10 years. And the point and purpose that I got out of it was that she was trying to tell people and encourage and inspire, in which she did, that, yeah, y'all see us now and we're, the POTUS and, everything like that. And we're a couple goals and everybody want a man like Barack, or to treat them like Barack, or to look at them like Barack looks at Michelle. Everybody wants that. But nobody knew until she just let us in that it was a whole 10-year gap that she did not like him.
Mhm.
10 years is a long time to have this ought against your spouse. For, she said he was, they was having kids and he was still going off and doing whatever he wanted to do. And she was with the kids. And who said I got to be the one to keep them? And, things like that. So she was just really frustrated with him during that gap of time that they had younger children. Right now, both of they're empty nesters. So
Mhm.
they're in a better space now. But for like 10 years, she had a little thing against him. And so
Mhm.
I thought that was very inspiring and uplifting to know, like, dang, it might be a weekend or something and I'm feeling away, or my husband feeling away about me, but it happens and it's not
Mhm.
foreign and it's okay. And you can still love them and you can get through it.
Mhm.
And not, that means, okay, I'm not happy, let's go get a divorce. I'm not happy, I'm going to cheat or whatever. Like, she stuck through it and look at where they are now. So she saw along the way of what their future could be, and she wasn't willing to give up on it. What are your thoughts about that?
Mine is well, let me start by saying my husband and I are total opposites. From the way our personalities opposite, our the way we think, the way we parent, uh, everything. We're total opposites. And a lot of couples think that they have to think just alike. Well, it's either right or wrong. Either I'm
Mm,
right or he's wrong, or who's right, who's wrong. You're both right in the way you think, but you're two imperfect people coming together trying to make the perfect relationship, which it does not exist. So
Right.
where I had to look at our differences is what make us stronger. We're like the seesaw. I need him way over here because I'm over here, so we need that to balance. But if
yeah.
I get off my end and try to come around over here and tell him where he's wrong and prove that I'm right, we're all off. But
Mm.
and so my philosophy is, what can we do to make us work? Our marriage don't have to look like anyone else's, and it doesn't. So
Mm-hmm.
what can we do to make us work? And I have a 95-5 rule. We as women can be doing 95 things. And I was the queen of that. I do this, I do that, I do this, I do that, I do this. And I was doing a whole bunch of things. And one day he just said, well, who told you to do all that? That's stuff you like to do. I was hot as fish grease. What?
Oh,
So now you don't appreciate. Oh, so I tell you what, I don't. Then I got to thinking. So when I get mad, I shut down. When he
Mm-hmm.
get mad, he wants to talk. Well, that's the last thing I want to do is talk, because I want to say something out of anger. Well, he don't want it to fester and get more angry, so he wants to talk. So again, we had to like give me a minute. You take a minute. Then once we woosah, in that minute where I'm taking it to myself, I had to think, well, why are you doing 95 things? Is it for him or is it for you? This is what you like to do. He was right, but I didn't like it that he said it. You know,
Uh-huh.
then we get in that hole. But you know, if he really loved me, he wouldn't have tried to upset me. You hurt my feelings. But then we done got out what we wanted to say.
right.
Mm-hmm.
But then now we come in with emotion. So I learned early on to separate my emotion from the facts. He only wanted all the facts. This is what you like to do.
Uh-huh.
My emotions got in the way because now I feel some type of way that you're not appreciating all these 95 things I'm doing. Once I removed my emotions and looked at the facts, okay, you're right. I'm doing all of this because I like to do it. So now we've got a disconnect here. What can we do to make us work in this situation?
Yeah.
What are the 5 things that mean something to you? I mean, I was pen, pad in hand, writing. What are the 5 things that you must have? You don't care about the 95? Give me the 5. He gave them to me. I'm like, this is what you can. I could do that in my sleep. Why didn't you tell me? And he was just like, well, you didn't ask me. So I just let you do what you like to do. So in his mind, he's protecting me like, oh, well, I don't want to just tell her like she's just doing way too much. So he's protecting me as his personality, as a man, as leader of the household. That's what he's doing. As me, as nurturer, I'm thinking, oh, well, I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to do this. I got to do that because I'm protecting him. But we never took the time to see. And he said, well, what about you? What about your 5? When I gave him my 5, he said, oh, well, I'm doing stuff I thought you like. I just, no, I don't really care for that. I just thought you like to do it. In that moment, it just clicked. Once we start operating in that 5%, the 95 took care of itself.
Yes.
But do you think that you guys threw away some good stuff in the 95%?
No, because I still got to do it, but I got to do it after I took care of the 5%. I just made the 5% priority. Now I still love some of the 95%. He still loved the 95%, but I had to make sure that the 5% was taken care of, because at the end of the day, he could have walked away on the 95% and say, I didn't meet his needs. And I'm like, what? And we both would have been right. But once I prioritized the 5%, the 95%, it takes care of itself. That once that need is met, the rest of it is just fun. It's just, yeah, we're good because that need is met. So neither one of us feel as if we're missing anything.
That's good. That's good. I mean, that's a great point that you're making. That whole point that you made, because I realized that within myself, and Kevin didn't have to tell me. I just realized, like, you decided to do all of this stuff and be Superwoman. Nobody asked you to do all of this stuff.
Yes.
And so, at some point, because I was low-key building a resentment, because I felt like I'm doing all of this. I'm doing this. I'm doing. And who told me to do all of that?
Yes.
Who said for me to do all of this stuff? So, I mean, it's unfortunate. It took a tragedy for me to self-reflect, but after the death of my mom, I knew I could no longer do all that with what I was dealing with. And I started thinking like, well, whoever told you to do all that? So then I started falling back on now the mistake I made was I should have had a conversation with my husband to say, I know I've been doing 0 to 100, but now I'm finna do 1 to 10. And that should have been a conversation, but it wasn't. And so then once he noticed the things that I was falling off on, he like, hold on, like, you ain't nobody told me you was just gonna stop doing this and stop doing that. And I said, oh yeah, because it's okay. Like, like what you just said, like, your marriage doesn't have to look like anyone else's marriage. And so I believe that by me being a single mom for so long, I was used to me scheduling the doctor's appointments, me taking to the orthodontist, me doing everything, because my daughter father wasn't really involved. Gotcha. And so I was just used to it. And so when Kevin came and then we got custody of our youngest son, I just continued to do what I always did. But then once my mom died and I just felt overwhelmed, I'm like, well, Alicia, it's okay for a man to make a doctor's appointment. Who told you it had to be you? We both the parents.
Exactly.
And so in the beginning, like when it first started happening, I did have a low key sense of guilt. Like, that's a doggone shame you ain't scheduled that doctor's appointment. Why? Why is it a shame? Why is it a shame? It's not a shame. He's the father. Like, he can do it. Like, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's certain things that I know, like what you just said, or maybe what's the fab. I know my husband likes for me to cook, and I'm going to. You know what I'm saying? It's certain things that I'm going to do, but it's other things that he didn't say had to be me. Like, we don't have roles, stringent roles. Kevin started washing the clothes. And then when I started complaining about he bleached one of my outfits or something, and he's like, well, I just won't. I'm like, well, who told you to do it? He just one day took over washing the clothes.
I did.
I never asked him to wash my clothes. You know what I'm saying?
Girl,
but I'm thankful. But I'm thankful that he did start washing, because that's one less thing on my list of things to do. So I am thankful. But if he feel like, wash the clothes, who told you to do it? You know? Because sometimes I have in my mind, like, I'm going to give him a break. I'm going to go ahead and wash it. Before I can even get to the basket, he already, like, our wash machine go every day of the week.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And mine.
So
yes. Washing clothes is one of our little things. I do not want him to wash the clothes. I love doing that. I love domestic things. So I'm one of those type, but girl, my hubby wanted to surprise me one day. I had a long day, so he was gonna wash the clothes for me. So he was gonna wash. He said, "Oh, I know you had it laid out for you to wear your white and your white dress. So I noticed you like a certain bra with your white dress. So it's black. So he washed all black clothes, including the throw rugs that's in the kitchen. You got my Victoria's Secret sparkle with the fringes with the throw rug in the washing machine and dryer, and so it's all crunched around in the throw rug in the.
Yes, indeed. He tried, though. He tried.
So I had to. Thank you, honey. But you really don't have to do the laundry. See, these bras. He didn't know. He just didn't know.
He didn't know. He tried. I know exactly.
So that's just some growing things, communication, but his mind was in the right place.
Yeah. You got anything to say on the behalf of the men?
No, I mean, because it's just to me, it's like when you see a need, you try to just fill that need. In most people, I can't say in most marriages, if I can see a way to offload something from my wife, I'll do that. When the time she felt, or she got the epiphany that she was doing a bit much more than I had asked or didn't ask, it was a shocker. I believe, and for those who are listening, like, it's important to have that conversation to say, hey, I feel a little overwhelmed. You didn't ask me to do these things, but it's been going on for a little while, and I want to not do this. I'm more skilled, or I'm more proficient in doing X, Y, and Z, and it's to lighten me up. That's important. And I was upset at first, but now I get that if she don't feel like she can hold that out, I don't want her to resent me for doing something that she felt she was doing for the sake of our marriage.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a growing, it's a learning process, and it has to do with growth. You know what I'm saying? And a change of mindset.
Yes.
Our mindset. Like, we are not our grandmothers. You know what I'm saying? Nobody said we had to. Just like I'm truly, for the new year, about to interview a maid. because it's other things I want to do with my time than clean up, and I don't want to make him feel like he got to be the one doing it. But our house got to be clean, and I'm not saying it's gonna be every day or even weekly, but let's start with bi-weekly because it's just other things that I want to do with my life than the moments that I do have free to be cleaning up. That's just not what I want to do. And so I just feel like if I got to work overtime or whatever we got to do to get this in the budget, let's do it, because I just feel like my mind has shifted to the importance of life and the things that may take me away from living it. And spending time with my family and spending time with my husband. You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
Well, see,
100%.
let's talk about that a little bit. And this is one of the things that I always say in marriage spaces or even single spaces that want to get married. My wife is, as she just discussed, that she's making a change within this new upcoming year. It's maybe in a thought that has been going on all year or last couple of years. Talk about, Sonia, the changes that a wife or a marriage go through and allowing that change, because that's something that I always preach. The person that I married 8 years ago is nowhere near the same person that I married today. And how can marriages a lot for that change and a lot for that, that different change of mindset? Because a lot of marriages fail because, oh, well, you all of a sudden, you all of a sudden XXX, whatever that X is, you all of a sudden doing, or you all of a sudden not doing this no more. But actually, this person has grown. They 10 years older than they was, or they 5 years older than, or a year older than they was when you first got with them.
Yeah, that's so good. I think it all boils down to communication. And I know that's a broad thing, and people just think of it as we just need to talk. But really, take in my marriage. My husband is not a big talker. I can talk for 20 minutes, and the response I get is, So, and I'm like, oh, my day went like, all he can say is, how was your day? Oh, well, let me tell you about this. I had this, and I can go on I could just go. Then at the end of it. So what we having, chicken? So what we gonna have chicken, or what we eating for dinner? Like, we just got to. But I had to learn that he's actually communicating all the time. He just used nonverbal communication. So from the beginning of our marriage, it was frustrating because I'm like, well, how do we? He was like, yeah. Yeah, what? I don't know what to. It's just like, and he would give me words and gestures. I asked him a question today, like, well, what do you think we ought to do about XYZ? Let me think about it. So I'm thinking like, okay, we're going to think about it here in the next few minutes. We're still talking. We're going to get this solved right here. And so after about 10 minutes, it's like, okay, well, what you come up with? I said, I'm going to think about it.
And that was it. That was the
next Thursday.
Oh, wow.
Next Thursday, then it's like, well, yeah, I was thinking about what you said. I'm like, what I said? I don't forgot what we talked about. So I had to learn. Give him his space. He needs time to process it because he's thinking of the big picture and the bottom line. So when I said that, all he saw was dollar signs going all over the place. But I'm thinking, okay, you say this is where we're going. I'm strategic. So you say this is where we're gonna go. Okay. So I'm right there, and I'm like, let me devise a plan. I need a step-by-step guide. I need an outline. I need all this. That's what I need. But what he needs, it's time to process what we just came up with. So I had to learn those nonverbal forms of communication that he was giving me. When he rubs his head, oh, that means something. When he just take a deep breath and just, it ain't no good time. It ain't no good time. I learned that the hard way.
Oh, wow.
It's not a good time. And to give you an example, when we first got married, my husband used to come in the house from work. He would go, I'm sitting here, he would go through the house, just straight through. I'd be, hey, nothing. straight through the house, opening doors, looking in closets, up under the bed, picking up the phone. So I was going to the bathroom, shut the door. You come out 20 minutes later. Hey, honey, how you doing? Younger me. Oh, so now you want to talk. Oh, no, you don't. Look in the closet, look behind the bed. You don't keep on. You gonna find what you're looking for. No communication. So then I'm hot for 2 days. Then he just like, well, I don't know what's wrong with you. No communication. To one day, it was like, the Lord is like, you the problem. You the problem. Every time I would pray with it, I get, you the problem. You mouthy. You talk back. Even when you don't get the last word, you're going to know that I did, one of them. So the Lord was like, you're wrong. Get in your place. You're all over the place. Communication. So I was like, it's not working for me. Analytical. I drove it out. I can dissect anything down. That's numbers make sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Breaking everything down to the common denominator makes sense. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to study him and I'm going to break everything down. This is what I did for myself. I got to make this work because this right here, I broke it all the way down. I waited till I was in an excellent mood. I said, honey, let me ask you a question. Why do you come in and walk through the house? He paused a minute. 15 seconds is a long time when you done asked a real good question and you ain't getting no answer. So I could feel the heat coming up on my neck that I was going to snap back.
Yes.
I was calm. He thought about it. Now I know that's how he processes. I didn't at the time. He'll stop. He looked back. He said, as a man, that's what I have to do. I said, what do you mean? He said, when I was younger, no one came in to make sure that I was safe, to make sure that I had everything I needed, to make sure that my environment was safe. I didn't have that. So I said, once I get my family, me as the man, I'm going to make sure that my wife, my home, and my kids are taken care of. So when I come in, what if someone have you hostage? And I'm thinking, in the kitchen? They got me hostage in here scrambling. I mean, but I didn't say anything. He said, what if somebody had you hostage? What if it was something you couldn't tell me? What if it was something in the house? What if it was something going on with the house while you in here, you didn't know? What if it was something with the kids? I, as the man, have to come in there and make sure that my family is secure.
I like it.
But when you didn't appreciate it and you didn't really want that, I didn't know how to take that. So I just went and closed myself in the bathroom and have to deal with it. And I had to deal with that by myself. So then I'm like, so now I'm really feeling this smile. Because it was the lack of communication. But I was like, if you had told me that,
you can understand.
I would have felt. And he just, well, how could I tell you? I thought you understood that when I come in. I thought that was just understood. We have to sit then and say, nothing is understood. Tell me. Once you tell me, I got it.
Okay.
And he said, well, if you had just told me that it made you feel uncomfortable, I would explain it. But every time I come in, you had an attitude, which I did. But because you were coming
in. Just on a mission when you got there. He about to secure the premises.
So I had to learn to close my mouth and ask myself the real question. And even with coaching wives, they never ask the question. They ask questions around the question. They circle the runway. They all land it. We circle and go around and around. The thing is, I had to ask myself, do you want this man? These are the questions that I was my first client. Do you want this man? I'm right. Yes. If you do, shut your mouth and learn how to make this work.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me to humble myself in the way that I was thinking, because I was thinking as a woman.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm treating him as if he were a woman. So I'm expecting him to respond as if he was a female. Because that's
good.
so I had to say, close your mouth and write and listen.
Mm-hmm.
So for one whole day, that's where the little wordless Wednesday come in. For Wednesday, I didn't say nothing. If he didn't ask the question, I didn't say anything. Do you know how hard that is for a spouse that don't talk?
Yes.
So it was just, but I was listening and I was learning. When he does this, this is what that means. Like, oh, when he does this, this is what that means. And if I would just be calm and quiet, the result that I want is there, but I would mess it up and beat him to the punch because he didn't do it right then, or how I thought he should have done it. But once I was secure in myself, then I could say, okay, to take the focus off me, my focus is now making you the happiest that you could ever be in this marriage. Once I devoted making him the happiest that he could be in this marriage, oh my gosh, the response was more than I could have ever asked for. It was like, oh, you are so mean. Oh, you are sweet. Okay. But it took me shutting Sonya up and sitting Sonya down and say, look, you deal with you, but until you get you under control, you have no right to try to change him, fix him, do anything. Learn him. So that's what I did. I learned who he was. I learned what he needed. I learned how to stroke his ego. I learned how to flirt without words because he doesn't respond to words all the time.
Yes.
So I had to learn that. In return, what I needed, I was expressing. I didn't know it at the time. I was expressing to him what I needed by catering to his needs. So he responded with that.
Yes.
But it took a while to get there. It took me setting myself down to see it. And that's why I can be calm. If it's, and I used to hear a lot of people say, your adversity, the struggle of marriage, the hardness, the work of it, the hard times. I was like, man, I don't really have those. I don't understand. I don't have it. And I'm thinking they gotta be there. But I don't have it. But I didn't see it as hard times. I didn't see it as our marriage is hard. I didn't see that. I just thought it was the process. So when I hear women, when they come to me and say, oh, it is so hard. My marriage is so hard. I could not relate until I asked them, why is it hard? They'll say, well, I don't know this and I don't know that. And I'm like, girl, you're pregnant and you're complaining about your belly getting big. It's just part of the process. Yeah, you threw up and pregnant. Yeah. So once I got that perspective, like, no, we have things that come up, but that's just part of the process.
Yes, it's this perspective.
Yes, it's just, it's alarming if your belly's getting big and you're not pregnant. It's alarming if you're throwing up every morning and you're not pregnant, but if you're pregnant, you're good. That's part of it. And you're going to have that.
Yes. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. I definitely think exactly everything that you said. Like, it was your thought process and the lack of him communicating exactly what he was doing made you feel a way when actually, if you had have known, you would have been elated like you were when you found out. Like, okay, my hero, he's keeping me safe. So that's really good. That's good right there. I wanted to say, because a part of today's episode is about social media and marriage. So what are your thoughts as it relates to social media and marriage? And I asked you that because I was on your page and I met you in person, and I see the vast difference between you and your husband. And so I would take a guess that he's not super active on social media. Is that true?
That would be correct. Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And so when you have you all have two different experiences as it relates to social media. How does social media have an effect on your marriage?
I guess it really doesn't in a way, because everything that I'm posting is about marriage, is about well, let me back up a little bit. He's actually the reason why I went into coaching married women.
Mhm.
So it was actually his idea. So anything that's behind the scenes, anything that's happening on social media, that's actually him behind the scenes.
Mhm.
So I never really thought that I had a gift from God. Let's just start there. I never really thought I had a gift. And I thought I was like the little kid that really sucked on the team. But, since everybody get a trophy, I just got one. They're like, oh, she sucks, but give her a trophy anyway. I literally thought that's how it was when God was giving out talents, because I'm like, I don't sing. I don't play any kind of sports. I'm not into anything. Really, the only thing that I've ever thrown my whole self at was being a wife and a mother. That's the only thing that I've ever wanted to do. And so I'm like, man, the Bible keeps saying your gift will make room for you. I don't have a gift. So what does that mean? He said, you got a gift? I'm like, what? He said, well, what about marriage? I'm like, ain't nobody paying people to be no wife. It can't be that. So it's gotta be something else. It's gotta be something else. And he said, it's marriage. He said, when you help people, you're always giving wives like, oh, no, try this or try that or try this. You're always thinking of things. You're always reading. You got 1,000 books just on marriage.
Mhm.
You can't open up the Bible where I don't have everything that has to do with marriage highlighted in at least 3 colors. I have studied it more than I've studied anything else. And he said, you're so passionate about it. It needs to be marriage. And I didn't understand. I really didn't get it. I'm like, well, yeah, we work, but I don't see where I could give that to someone else. He said, well, just try it. Just try it and put it out there.
Mhm.
I said, well, I can do it as a hobby. So that's where it all started. Like as a hobby, if they need encouragement, if they want to know some tips or something that might help them, like it helped me and like it helped my friends, then I'll just put it out there. So everything, he was just doing it from the back just to upload, to do all that. So it really didn't hurt our marriage in any way. It was just kind of confirming what we had already talked about. But once I got into it and started coaching women, I found that really was a burning passion to help women. I literally be cheering them on, like I want them to work. Oh, they're so cute, and I see it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, another little Sonya. She don't get it. Poor thing. She don't get it. She just don't get it. And I can just see, or if I see him, I'm like, oh Lord, you got it, girl. You going about it all wrong. So just that encourages me to encourage them not to give up, because really, you're 3, you're 5, and you're 15. Woo!
Woo.
So if you make it past those, you're good. You're good if you just stay focused with it. And I just love encouraging women with that. And I like to say, if the Bible, let's put it this way. I got the Bible here and Playboy here. I always said someone needs to bridge the gap between the two. I said,
that's good.
Sex is the one thing that the enemy perverts so much. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. Why? Because it's something there. And I would be so paid. He said, well, somebody need to write a book on it. He said, why don't you do it? I said, I can't do it. I'm dyslexic. I can't do that. and I would always say that. I said, but it needs to be, it's something there. But people miss it. It is something there. But people just the church don't want to talk about it. They say, once you get married, but once I get married, well, who do I talk to about it? I got some things I want to discuss. What we can discuss it with? So I said it needs to be a safe place to where a woman, a wife, an aspiring wife can go to get some questions answered. And that doesn't mean she have a demon spirit. That means that she wants to make love to her husband in a way where she feels fulfilled, he feels fulfilled. And if done right, the glory of God comes down. She needs to feel that. So you can't tell me that that's only when you're in the world. And it's created by God and it's so beautiful. No, I'm like, no. He's like, you're so passionate. Share it.
Yes.
Share that with someone. And I kept saying, if they bridge that gap, man, they're missing out on it. But and I can go all day. I could go, oh Lord, I could go all the way down there. I said, in the garden. I was distracted, but she really was. I said, that's how we are today. We really want to do what's right and what we feel. We really want to please our husband. We really want to please God. We're trying to do all this thing, but the hardest thing for us to do is take off the cape. We just talked about that. So we're distracted by all of these things, and we're led farther and farther away from our husband, away from that unity. But if her and Adam was getting it on, the devil would have never had a chance to come in there and whisper, because she would have been busy. Come back. Look, not now. So if we would get back to that, not that she was just, she just all off doing her own little thing. No, she was really trying to do what she felt was right. And she even talked back like, no, we can't do that. God said this. We were just distracted, and we're still distracted today. Instead of coming together with our husband, if she had said, look, let me go talk to my husband real quick. Honey, he said, now I know what the Lord said, and we come together. But that's a lot of things that we can be distracted by. And an unpopular topic, we can be distracted about being so independent. And I know that's a touchy subject, but we can be so independent that we're not wives anymore. We're just women with rings. We're women with rings at that point, because we want to show him, look, like, I was doing good. I can do all this by myself, but we didn't do it by ourselves. I gotta do all this. That might be good at 20. It might be good at 30. But shoot, 40, 50, 60, look, that gets old.
Yeah.
So just coming together, keeping God in it, communicating with each other, and saying, look, we're going to come together before God. We mad, but get on over here on my side. I can't sleep without you over here holding me. Come on over here. We mad, but we're going to go on to sleep. And we wake up. We wake up. It's a new day. It's another opportunity for us to make a better decision. And we ain't going nowhere. We're good.
That's the main part.
Now, I know you... Go ahead.
And having that mindset is what takes you to the next day. Not the next whatever. It's day by day.
Yes.
That mindset takes you to the next day. You ain't sleeping you ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere. You ain't sleeping on the couch. We're going to sleep right in here in the bed. Now I might be over here on the thread. But come on over here too. Come on over. So I can go to sleep, because I can't sleep if I don't feel you. Come on over here.
That's good.
Then when we wake up, yes, he's snoring and everything, and I'm looking, how he's sleeping. He know I'm mad, how he's snoring. But that next morning, we up. It's a new day. We done made another day. We good. That's in the past. What we gonna do today to make today better?
Yeah.
No, I didn't like you last night, but I love you this morning. Hello.
Boom.
3 things that I took away from, some things that you said earlier and throughout our talk today was accountability as a wife, being intentional with your marriage, and the self-awareness. That's what I got out of it. And speaking about social media, you're on social media a lot. And guys, if you haven't checked out some of the skits she do and some of the things that she teach on, what can wives expect? And I know you kind of touched on it just a second ago, getting coached by you individually versus what they seeing and hearing on social media. So before we get out of here, I just wanted to them to get a glimpse of what they would get from the Romance Queen if they enroll, subscribe, or just tap in with you?
The very first thing I do is to turn the mirror around so they can see themselves truly. What does your happy look like? A lot of women don't know. What does your sad look like? We're creatures of habit. It's certain things that we as women do, say, listen to, eat, and put on our bodies when we're happy. Same thing when we're sad. Same thing when we're feeling sexy. What is the little girl inside of us? What are you fighting for? What are you trying to protect her from?
Yes.
All of that, until we understand who we are, calm ourselves down, take all of that off that we have on there, trying to be independent, trying to be superwoman, trying to make sure that we don't get hurt again, trying to protect ourselves, trying to protect our body. Once we take all that off, what do we truly want?
Mm-hmm.
What do we truly want? That's number one. Number two, how do you want this man? Is this him? If you want him, quit trying to change him and love him for who he is. And take it off and see him. Discover that little boy in him and introduce the little girl in you to the little boy in him. He's not going to show you the little boy. He wants you to get there to him. The little boy is his heart. He wants you to meet that little boy, but he's not going to help you. He's going to fight you all the way through. But he rooting for you. He rooting for you, girl, to go on and meet him, but he ain't going to help you. So getting to showing you how to get to that little boy inside of him and comfort him. And to let them see that once you comfort that little boy, the little girl is already comforted. The little girl needs that little boy to comfort her. Then we dive into, what is his eye candy? What does he like in a woman? If his legs and thighs show him some.
Hey.
Sometimes KFC, the only legs and thighs that homeboy sees. But
Yeah.
when he looks with another woman, we're jealous. Why? He wants legs and thighs. Show him. You prefer him looking at yours? Show him. And that's okay. Don't try to convince him that he don't like it when you know he does. Accept it. Don't try to change that. Embrace that. And be thankful that he like yours.
Yes.
So that part. Then learning how to stroke his ego, making love to his mind. We've already started with the heart. Then we went to what he likes. Make love to his mind. What is he thinking as a man? The things that he go through, not saying that women don't go through things, but the things that he's going through as a man, we cannot hold a candle to those. So building him back up after he's been out in a world that's tearing him down for us. He's out there doing that. So we take care of him so he can take care of us. So once we see the bigger picture, that shrinks our little things that we got going on. Well, I don't want to do too much. You know, they get the feeling themselves. That's good. He's been tore down all day for us. So learning how to build him back up mentally. Learning how to flirt with his mind mentally.
Yes.
Teaching her how to make him blush. Now, my husband is half past midnight black. Now, if I can make him blush, the rest of the day should have a problem. But learning how to make him blush through a text, through no words at all, through just a touch, learning exactly where to touch him. And I don't mean sexually. I mean sometimes just to hold his head, sometimes to just rub it, sometimes it's a shoulder. Whatever that is, learning that.
Yes, and so you got to tell these people where they can find you so they can learn it. Because this is sounding just real good right here. How can the people find you so they can tap in and learn some of this stuff?
I'm on Instagram and Facebook as Romance Queen Sonya. They can find me on both platforms. I'm on Amazon with my book, The Master Key That Unlocks Their Husband's Mind, Body, and Heart.
Oh, awesome. I got to go on Amazon because I didn't even know you were an author.
Yes. And it goes
That's-
through all the steps, unlocking each part of him from his head all the way down to his toes, and we don't leave out anything.
That sounds good.
Y'all
like
gotta tap in. Y'all gotta tap in. Like I'm full as a husband, and I feel overjoyed, and I am actually promoting this book.
Yes,
for both
indeed.
sides. Y'all got to tap in with her. She is very animated. She don't leave no stone unturned when it comes to marriage. She is actually the romance queen. She is the queen of romance. So you guys definitely have to tap in. Is it anything that you want to leave future wives, our married wives right now? Just what do you want to leave today with them so they know like she's the one. She's official.
Okay. Do today what other wives want in order to have the marriage that other wives don't.
Oh, we gonna put a period right there.
Ooh.
Yes, and that part. If we had one of them, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I gotta rewind that part.
That's
Yes,
fire.
indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, we just want to thank you for being with us today. We appreciate you coming on the Family Dynamics podcast. And we just loved everything about today's episode with Miss Sonia Harris. Yes, indeed.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Family Dynamics Podcast with Kevin and Alicia Meeks.
Thank you, guys.
Please like, subscribe, and comment. And don't forget to follow us on social media at The Family Dynamics.
We'll see y'all in a minute.
Bye.